This is Andi for ID Boxing. I'm joined by Frazer Clarke here in Manchester. Frazer, firstly, how's tricks?
All good, man, all good. Another fight week, we're here, and yeah, we're good.
Another fight week. I didn't know at one point you may not have been fighting on this card. Obviously, Rydell Booker pulling out of a fight. In steps Bogdan Dinu. Just walk me through that kind of situation that you found yourself in.
Oh, 24 hours that you just don't need. Every time the phone rings on fight week, I get nervous now because it's becoming such a common theme for me. But yeah, I got the call. Booker, you know, all best wishes to him. He had a seizure, so you know it's something genuine. I couldn't not fight. I couldn't fight him in that situation. And then it was down to Will, LCS, John. You know, these guys, they did an amazing job in finding an acceptable replacement. And I think it is an acceptable replacement because, remember, I get the most stick out of any fighter in the world for who I fight. So I think it's a good replacement. I don't think there can be no complaints.
I think that's a fair point you make. A lot of people have obviously been critical of your opponent so far, probably with the exception of Kamil Sokolowski. Looking at Bogdan Dinu, how much of a step up do you feel he is from say, Kamil?
Chalk and cheese to what I've been boxing into, do you know what I mean? I think he'll come with a bit of ambition, and he knows that if he can get the scalp, he's back into some sort of good place. It's not my job to not to let him do that, but he's definitely a step up. He's had how many fights? It's my 6th fight. He's had 26 fights. I think he's stopped quite a lot as well. Might have been 20. Might have stopped 20 out of 26. So it's 100% a step up. Like I say, no one can really complain about this.
Obviously, people also know, looking at his record, the fights he has lost, he's been stopped in. Is that on your mind, or if you are successful, that you need to make somewhat of a similar statement as well?
It's always on your mind. Every time you get in the ring, it's on your mind to stop someone. But it's about, I like the noble art of boxing. Knockouts come with that. Do you know what I mean? So I don't go in there I'm going to knock this guy out. If the opportunity comes, I take my opportunities.
Provided Saturday goes to plan, Frazer, I imagine again you just want to try and stay as active as possible. Have you already spoken to your team about what could be around the corner?
I had a little chat about it, but not too much. I like to concentrate on Saturday, but no, I just seen the boxing schedule yesterday. There's a lot coming up. There's something close to home. There's Birmingham close to home, so that sort of could fit in and could work. But for now, it's just all systems Saturday.
Who else, opponent-wise, fell into the kind of picking at one point when Bogdan Dinu stepped in?
It was difficult, mate. Like, you try and ring anyone and tell them, this sort of short notice. So no one really. I think they had a Jamaican guy that was at the Olympics, 6-0, 6 knockouts. What is it? I can't remember his name now. He was a possibility. There was just people like basically anyone. Because remember this, to the guys at home that say, "Oh, he just get with anyone." My fights fell through, which I was prepared for and happy to fight. I want to fight. More than anything, I want to fight, I want to progress my career, but also I want to get paid. So I would have got in the ring with you. I didn't care, as long as I was getting, I was upset and gutted, but still, it takes away the fact that I've done all this work, put all the money into camp, all the training into camp, the time and effort. I didn't care who it was, I was wanting to box.
Frazer, you don't want me smoke.
I probably don't, true that.
Frazer, just away from fighting myself, we look at the future. Obviously, I know yourself and Fabio Ward has been spoken about, but away from Fabio's name, again, any names in particular you look at and you think maybe at some point this year?
Yeah, me and Fabio have been spoken about a lot, and like I said, I don't think it's been like malicious intent. It's just two big heavyweights that I think will make a good fight. But the other names in the division, we've got Solomon. He had a good win the other day up in Newcastle. People have spoke about Johnny Fisher. I don't want to fight Johnny. I've said this before. I like him too much. I'd find it difficult. Don't get me wrong. I'd be able to switch it off if it made sense. But I like him. I like the family. I've got a lot of respect for him. Jamie TKV. That's been whispered about a little bit. But we get these British guys, and then we'll go through the levels. Who else? Jarrell Miller. He had a good win the other day against Luke.
What did you make of his fight against Lucas?
Yeah, I'd like to see them both tested. I'd like to see them both tested again because it was just a bit mad. There was a lot of shots going in. For two guys that didn't look in the best of shape, they took a lot and they stood there for a lot. But yeah, just anyone like that. Lucas Brown even. It's another name, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? and it's the level I'm going. Remember this, it's fight number 6 in the game now. I know people going, oh, he's had 1 million amateur fights and whatnot. Pro game, new game. Let me take my time, man. I'm doing my thing.
How much do you feel we've seen in the ring from you, Frazer, from what you've been able to work on, working with Angel Fernandez?
Some of it. I still think I'm still improving. Every time I go to the gym, I'm improving. I get criticised a lot from him. He tells you a lot. You need to do this better. You need to do that better. You need to watch this fight. You need to watch that fight. You need to do more better. And you're trying to drill it into yourself. You know, it's not going to be perfect overnight. I'm nowhere near the finished article. Boxing-wise, physically, mentally, I've got so much room to grow. But I'd like to say, so far in my fights, you know, I don't think there's been any devastating knockouts yet. But boxing-wise, IQ, fundamentals, I think I've done all right.
Frazer, obviously there's a lot of fights on the horizon in the heavyweight division. Just want to get your thoughts on a couple of topics. Obviously in the last 24 to 48 hours we've seen the fallout around Fury-Usyk and that not taking place now. I just want to get your take on everything that you've seen. Yeah,
just sad, bad for the sport, you know. The heavyweight boys, the big boys, the people that people look up to not get it on, it just gives us a bad name, doesn't it? Do you know what I mean? It gives the sport a bad name. We don't like to be criticised as boxers, but when you got things like that going on, makes it easy for people to point and aim. So, as a fan, we want to see the fight. I don't feel like I'm qualified to talk about the business side of things because it's way above my pay grade, and there'll be a lot of conversations going on, what's right, what's wrong. But if you look at it from the black and white, what I've seen so far is that it was all agreed, 70-30. There was a rematch clause, then there wasn't a rematch clause. Now there is a rematch clause. And from what I listened to last night, Usyk's team are basically saying on the rematch they want 70-30 back, and Fury's saying that's a no-go. It's 50-50 or nothing. And all them negotiations broke down to the rematch clause, but no one's actually thinking about the fight here and foremost. But like I say, they're in a different stratosphere to me, so what goes through their head and what goes through my head will be two different things.
Frazer, obviously I know you've said that you don't feel you're quite qualified to speak about splits and what have you, but away from that, a lot of people commenting on who they think's come out worse throughout all of this, and Tyson's name seems to be the one mentioned more. Do you feel currently it's Tyson Fury who's taken the most flack, who's come out of it looking worse out of the two of them?
Probably, but do I think he gives a fuck? Not at all. Sitting there in his big mansion, probably going to go down the shop in a fucking roller in a bit, play with his kids, everyone's happy and healthy. Will he care that much? I don't think so.
And Frazer, obviously you've got Anthony Joshua returning next weekend against Jermaine Franklin. A lot of people expect to see a demolition job. Just walk me through what you expect to see.
We'd love to see a demolition job. What I want to see is a different aura around him. I want to see him confident. I want to see him smiling. I want to see him happy. I want him to feel like, even though there's a lot of pressure on him, I want him to feel like there's no pressure on him. I think there will. You can see demolition job there, but I was there at Jermaine Franklin's last fight. I fought little guys that are good boxers with fast hands and throw a lot of shots. It's not smooth sailing, do you know what I mean? It's up for AJ to go in there and work on what he's worked on in camp and be the destructive Anthony Joshua with it, which we've seen once upon a time. But even better, he's going to be better than that now because I believe he's more polished, more experienced. Just like I said, new aura and a happy and dangerous man.
He's obviously with Derrick James now. Have you had any conversations as to how he's found working with Derrick?
Yeah, I've had a few conversations over WhatsApp with him. He said he's learnt a lot. He said he's got a good understanding, and he said to me that a new trainer or trainers can definitely get an extra bit out of you. So I feel like Derrick might have been going away from England. He's definitely got something else out of him, which probably had been lacking for a couple of years. But he's got it out of him, so, you know, I can't wait to see that.
A final one, Frazer, just away from the heavyweights, but a massive fight on April 22nd. Gervonta Davis and Ryan Garcia. Your thoughts?
Cracker. Obviously, if I wasn't boxing again, I'd go for that one. I'd go over there for that. Good fight. Two great fighters, actually. Winner, I don't know. If I was going to edge someone, I'd probably edge the Tank. But no, good fight. You can't sleep on Garcia. Excited to see it. Once again, boxing fan. In for a treat. Big fights being made. We love to see it.
All right, Frazer, we will leave that there now. Leave you to enjoy the rest of your day. So thank you.
Nice one, man. Cheers.